Hi folks, I'm Nick with Toccoa Defensive Training. If I look familiar to you, it might be from my other channel, Archetype of Man, where I focus more on reviewing guns, holsters, knives, lights, optics, cool guy stuff. Here, we're going to focus more on the training aspect and cover aspects from experienced shooters down to novices, maybe people just getting into concealed carry stuff. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is holsters. The holster for your concealed carry setup is every bit as important as the firearm itself. It may not be as fun to talk about or as cool to show your buddies, but it's absolutely true. So unfortunately for me today, I didn't bring any bad holsters, but I brought good holsters. The brand on these are actually 3 separate brands of holsters and 3 different guns that kind of, we've got revolver, mid-size or compact, and then a full-size gun. All of these I carry in the same position on my body. I'm an appendix carrier, meaning I carry in the front of my waistband about 130, just offset on the right side. And that's something we can cover in another video, the pros, cons, safety considerations, and things like that. Although I will, spoiler alert, tell you that the holster is very important no matter where you carry, but particularly carrying up front. As I am seated right now, you can imagine why that might be a concern. So anytime we're talking about carrying a firearm, we are talking about carrying something that is going to be loaded, although we'll go ahead and I'll show you these are all unloaded. So there we have that one, it's unloaded. We have this also unloaded, clear, and then we have this gun unloaded and clear. So I don't want to focus too much on the firearms, but somebody somewhere is going to see something that catches their eye and want to know what it is. There'll be links out in the description if you want to check out more in-depth videos on each gun. So this is a Taurus 605 Defender 357 Magnum. This is a CZ P07 9mm. It's had some custom work done to it by the King of Camo, including milling for the red dot. And this is a Stealth Arms Platypus 9mm 1911 that uses Glock mags. So that's really it in terms of all we're going to be talking about with guns today. The holsters themselves, we'll start off with the revolver here. This is a Harry's Holsters Icon 2.0. All these holsters are Kydex or some sort of thermo-molded polymer. They're set for a specific gun. Gun slides in, you should be able to tip it over it, not come out, even with some shaking. You want it to hold it securely. There's a couple things we're looking for here. The most important is that it covers the trigger guard of the firearm. There should be no way for you to get in there and activate that trigger, or for something else to get in there and activate that trigger. Now, in the process of holstering a firearm, there's always the potential that a jacket drawstring or debris could get in between there and pull the trigger. That's why we recommend looking the gun into the holster. But you want to check that. A lot of these reputable brands, they're not going to get that wrong, because that's one of the most important facets of holster design is, does it keep the trigger from going off when it's in there? So obviously that one passes. This is a Vedder. This one's pretty cool. It's got a little wedge on it, foam wedge for comfort. Again, I carry up front. I like comfort. So this is for the P07. We'll put that in there. You heard that click. Tip it over, it's not coming out. This one has a wing. Actually, all of these have some sort of wing. All the wing is for is as your belt passes through whatever clip the holster uses, it imparts some torque here, tilts the butt of the pistol or grip of the pistol in towards your body, which helps with concealment. This one's got a snazzy camo pattern on it. Again, holster does not allow access to the trigger or inside the trigger guard. So that one passes. This is a Toccoa holster. This is, I believe, the Velo 4. There'll be links to these in the description if you're interested. And molded for the Stealth Arms Platypus. Goes in. You can see nothing's getting into that trigger guard area. It has its variation of the wing there. It also has a built-in wedge here, which kind of tilts the gun in. It's not as comfy and padded as that foam one, but it does work for concealment. So we've got that out of the way. All 3 of these holsters will protect the trigger and trigger guard from we'll call it unauthorized or unintentional access. These are concealed carry holsters. These aren't duty holsters. This isn't, these are designed to be worn under something and conceal your firearm. Now, if we come over here, another thing that we're going to talk about is belt attachment style. So both the Harry's holsters and the Toccoa use discrete carry concepts clips. These are spring steel, very robust. They've got a hook on the inside, and I hope you can see that as this, as you slide it over your belt, it also hooks so the belt won't come out easily. These are very good. This uses two, because it is a wider, heavier gun, two spaced apart. The Harry's holsters uses a double clip. Again, same thing. Get a little hook, grabs onto your belt. These are very secure. They're easy on, easy off. I like them quite a bit. Vedder also uses a metal clip. This one's a bit different. You can see it's got a shelf. Now, I've not had this holster come out. I'm a little bit less confident in this style clip than I am those. You can also see, because it attaches down here at the bottom, there is some flex. Again, it hasn't really caused me any issues because your belt's running through there. But I'm not as big a fan as that. It is metal and it hasn't caused me issues. It's not the worst clip that I've ever used, but it's not as good as something like these discrete carry concepts clips. Now, price-wise, you're going to pay more for something with this sort of hardware. Again, though, trying to get folks to understand the holster is every bit as important as the gun. The price difference isn't that bad, and for what you get, I would much rather see folks go with this hardware. So I'm not dinging this holster. I carry with this holster. I like it, but that's something to look at. You'll notice I don't have any leather holsters out here. It's not that leather can't be made into a viable holster. It's that when you find a holster that's going to check these boxes, as well as one more that I'm about to touch on, the price typically puts it out of reach, and there's some other considerations to make. So I work in landscaping in addition to doing training, and a lot of the time, especially here in Georgia, it is hot, I'm sweaty. Sweat will permeate leather a whole lot faster than it's going to do anything to this. Now, you might get some issues with the hardware. I'm trying to see, I'd keep these changed out if I notice rust. I don't think these have rust on them. The hardware may rust, sometimes condensation. If temperature change is there, the gun can get condensation and develop some rust spots depending on the metallurgy of the gun. Leather, though, will soak up that moisture a lot more readily than these are going to obviously be in polymer. And the other thing with leather, especially worn inside the waistband, is they tend to be more pliable naturally, and they'll compress. Whereas these will hold their shape. This is inside my waistband. If I draw the gun, even if my belt's super tight and it closes up a little bit, I can still holster that gun safely. So with a leather holster, that went back in easily enough. We'll pretend my hand here's the leather holster, here's the gun. Gun's in there, pull it out, holster closes. I need to reholster. I'm trying to wedge that in there. The gun barrel's pointed my innards or at some part of my body, and I'm trying to wiggle it and force it in. That's not a good situation to be in. Can you find a leather holster that'll, retain its openness? Sure, there's some out there. They typically use a band of spring steel around this part of the leather to help hold it open. Again, you're going to pay more for those options. If that's what you're dead set on getting is leather versus Kydex, do you. Just make sure, again, that it covers the trigger guard, that the attachment point is solid. I'm not saying it has to be these sorts of things, soft loops that snap over, that don't come unsnapped when you pull on the gun. Just definitely look into what you're buying before you buy it. There, unfortunately, is a ton of bad holster options out there, and it would be very easy to end up buying something that is not only not going to work well comfort-wise, but could actually be dangerous. So for concealed carry holsters, all three of these I've used. They have my stamp of approval. This isn't so much a gear review, but if you're looking for holsters, I have no problem recommending these to you, and I'll drop links down in the description, as well as links to more in-depth reviews if you would like them over on the Archetype of Man channel. So that's going to pretty much sum up the topic for today. This is a potential problem area for people getting into concealed carry and even folks that have done it off and on throughout the years. So I wanted to address this. Maybe it'll A, keep people safe, B, save people some money, and C, promote companies that deserve to be promoted for doing the right thing and offering good products. Again, if you're interested in the review side of things, that's going to be over on the Archetype of Man. Here we're going to focus more on lifestyle, philosophy, and training for Toccoa Defensive Training. If you're local to the North Georgia area, I do offer training. There will be an email address that you can send me an email if you want to schedule training. Guys, stay safe. Seek out good training. Doesn't have to be with me. There's plenty of qualified instructors. If you are not local to me in North Georgia and you're looking for a good place to start, email me anyway. I'll do my best to find some stuff near you, as well as to explain why I'm recommending them. But get good training. Make sure to practice what you learn in training. Shooting, weapons handling, those are perishable skills. Make sure to keep up with your practice sessions. If you're concealed carrying, work in that dry fire. If you can't do live fire from a holster like I can out here, do those dry fire presentations, and we'll have a whole video on dry fire coming soon. Just make sure you keep that skill set sharp. But above all, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.